Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is the latest on the severe weather threat. Slight risk of severe weather from eastern Kansas northward into central Wisconsin today. We're also taking a look at severe threats throughout and into this weekend. Let's get started here. We do have a slight risk today, marginal risk tomorrow, and then a slight risk the next 3 days after that in the United States. As for central Oklahoma, there's a decent potential chance of some wind and hail today, but that's probably closer to zero as of the it's 5% today. It's probably closer to zero on Thursday, and then remains at 15% Friday and Saturday, and starts to move out of the area on Sunday. Let's start with today for the entire United States. Southeastern Kansas and western Missouri is the first part. Some severe wind is possible overnight tonight, along with a little bit of hail potential as well. And then central Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, and western Wisconsin all have severe wind, large hail, and a tornado at 2 possible in those areas. That tornado threat will generally be along that Minnesota-Iowa border towards the east there. As for us here in central Oklahoma, we're at the bottom edge of the 5% chance of wind and hail. There's a minimal severe threat throughout the day today. However, we could see wind gusts without the thunderstorms exceeding 40 miles an hour at times. As a result, a wind advisory is in effect. After midnight, we could see some hail, but that's generally going to remain to the north as seen on the map there. Wind is also possible, and we aren't really looking at a tornado threat today. As for tomorrow, they have shifted the area of concern generally over Missouri now instead of generally Oklahoma. And so we really aren't concerned about that in central Oklahoma. And really in general, it's not that big of a deal. Large hail, the main threat, a little bit of wind, also possible on tomorrow. By the time we get to Friday, the threat then shifts to the west side of Oklahoma, as well as parts of the Texas Panhandle as well. Hail, the main threat, a little bit of wind chance as well. And then the story changes by the time we get to Saturday, when the threat now exists from southern Kansas into much of Oklahoma and central Texas as well. That's going to be a relatively decent threat on Saturday, and all severe hazards are possible. We are looking at generally a squall line type setup, so wind's going to be the main hazard with those isolated cell as the squall line begins to form. We're going to be looking at hail potential as well and tornadoes. So we have all three severe hazards. Wind, probably the most devastating out of all of them, at least the most widespread out of all of them. But a tornado or two can definitely not be ruled out with Saturday. And the same goes for Sunday as the squall line makes its way into Louisiana, Arkansas, and Missouri. The threat continues moving out of Oklahoma and Texas into those states to the east. Again, severe wind going to be the main threat. Hail possible if the squall line breaks down overnight. And as it attempts to reform, that's when the hail and tornado threat returns for Sunday. That's all for now. I've been Chris Dixon, InfoWeather Catholic Media.